If you were a warrior on the Great Plains 1,000 years ago and you took an arrow to the thigh, you didn't have opioids, no ER, no MRI, and no orthopedic surgeon. Just the land, your people, and a body that had to heal itself or not at all. But what's astonishing isn't just that they survived, it's how they thrived, using plants, ceremony, and medicine traditions far older than modern pharmacology. So how did the Native American tribes treat pain without any of what we consider modern medicine? Let's step back in time. Pain was a constant companion. There were hunting injuries, ritual scarification, warrior wounds, and animal attacks. There was joint pain from traveling miles on foot every single day, toothaches, bone breaks, infections, and there were no pharmacies. But indigenous tribes across North America didn't treat pain like a symptom. They treated it like a message. Pain wasn't an enemy. It was a teacher. And the healing? It didn't come from one pill. It came from the entire ecosystem of medicine. Botanical, spiritual, and ancestral. One of the most powerful natural painkillers used by tribes like the Cherokee and the Iroquois was willow bark. The inner bark of the white willow tree contains salicin, a compound that modern scientists later turned into aspirin. Now, long before Bayer patented it in 1899, indigenous healers were steeping it into a tea to reduce fever, relieve joint pain, and calm inflammation. And unlike modern aspirin, it came with a ritual. The bark wasn't just boiled, it was prayed over. The pain wasn't just dulled, it was honored. Corn, beans, and squash were known as the three sisters of agriculture, but did you know they were also used in healing? Cornmeal, for example, was used topically in poultices to reduce inflammation and draw out heat. Bean leaves were crushed and used on insect stings and skin irritations. Squash blossoms were boiled into infusions to soothe stomach pain and also menstrual cramps. They weren't food versus medicine, they were both. The medicine was grown, gathered, and shared around the fire. But the pain wasn't just physical, it was also spiritual. In tribes like the Lakota, the Navajo, and the Blackfeet, pain was often treated in the sweat lodge, a sacred space for purification, healing, and transformation. Inside the darkness, surrounded by red-hot stones and the scent of cedar and sage, warriors would sing, pray, and sweat out the grief, toxins, and pain. This wasn't just heat therapy, it was ceremony. It was medicine for the spirit behind the pain, and often the healing began there, in surrender. Now, the native healers didn't just rely on one herb, they had literally thousands. Here are a few of the standouts for pain relief. Sage. Sage was used not just for smudging, but infused into oils to ease sore muscles and joints. Cedar. Cedar was used in steam baths and compresses to reduce chest pain and congestion. Sweetgrass. Sweetgrass was braided, burned, and inhaled to calm the nervous system and ease emotional pain. Each plant had a spirit, and every medicine had a story. They weren't used casually. They were gathered with reverence, offered with prayer, and administered with relationship. Now, if you were in pain, you didn't just take something. You were always a part of your healing. You fasted, you prayed, you spoke to the elders and the ancestors, you listened to the wind, you returned to the land. Pain was a call to realign. And healing didn't mean removing all sensation. It meant remembering who you were before the wound. So what can we learn from these native healers? You know, today we numb, we escape, we suppress. But what if pain is a messenger and not actually a malfunction? What if the earth still holds the answers? Natural medicine, ceremony, ritual, plants that carry the memory of 1,000 generations. Plants aren't alternative medicine. They are the original medicine. If this video spoke to something deeper in you, and you're dealing with chronic fatigue, burnout, or that ache in your body that no amount of rest seems to fix, then I want to invite you to a one-time live online workshop I'm hosting in a few weeks. We'll dive into how traditional Chinese medicine understands and actually treats chronic fatigue, adrenal burnout, and that deep lingering exhaustion. We'll talk about how ancient remedies, including some of the same herbs and healing principles we talked about today, are still being used to restore energy and vitality from the inside out. You'll learn the root causes from an Eastern perspective and what you can start doing right now to get your energy and life back. Now, spots are limited, so if this resonates, click the link below to join us. I would love to see you there live. If you've made it this far into the video, it probably means that this message resonates with you on a deeper level. Maybe you've tried supplements, the stress hacks, or the lifestyle changes, and something's still missing. That's where personalized care comes in. In my private clinic in Los Angeles or virtually via telemedicine, I work one-to-one with a limited number of people who are done guessing. People who are ready to get to the root cause of their digestive problems, anxiety, insomnia, or chronic fatigue. This isn't a generic protocol. It's custom, classical East Asian wisdom designed for your body. Now, if you guys are interested in herbal healing, I have another related video for you right here on how traditional Chinese medicine uses herbs to heal.